Hey y'all, I am so happy, y'all. I am literally ecstatic that we are finally here at this point. If you have been waiting for this talk, this presentation, you just wanted to learn about trademarks, today is the day I give my signature talk about trademarks. But before I get into that, y'all, because technology still downloading for some reason is crazy. But I wanted to make sure I had the video version and the presentation version. I know I'm doing a lot, but I just like to have my stuff already queued up for y'all before it starts. So I wanted to make sure that I checked in. Tell me where you guys are from. Just tell me a little bit about yourself, what's going on, and so go ahead, comment. Let me know you here. If you are commenting in my Safe Space support group, you have to add StreamYard first, or I will not be able to see who's commenting. If you are following from anywhere else, I think on my personal Facebook page, I think that I also won't be able to see. So, just check it out. Just let me know. I'll go check it periodically throughout the talk. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I appreciate y'all so very much. So if this is something that you've been looking forward to all week and you've been waiting for this talk, go ahead and give me a thumbs up so I know that I got excited people here to listen to me today. If there is nothing more, I'm going to go ahead and put this in presentation mode so that you guys can see an amazing talk, an amazing everything. So if you came here for trademarks, you will learn about some trademarks today. If you guys have noticed, I'm wearing a shirt that says I love trademarks. That is not my brand. That is Alt Legal, which is a software that people use or trademark attorneys use. And that is something, I had to go back to the very beginning. Y'all saw my whole presentation before I was ready. But they use that to organize many trademark clients at once. It does cost like $50 a month. If you keep your trademark numbers low, it will cost way more if you keep your trademark numbers high. So I actually got awarded a grant to be able to use Alt Legal Connect, Alt Legal for the rest of the year for free. I'm also being asked to speak by Alt Legal next conference. So at the Alt Legal Connect conference, you will see a workshop with yours truly about how to increase diversity in the intellectual property field and to make inclusion a big thing. So without further ado, we are going to talk about Trademark That Thursdays. If you guys don't know anything about the brand, it's okay. I put my Instagram handle in that picture you see in front of you right now. That's at Neena_Ronnie. That's where I give out free trademark tips every Thursday. When I say every Thursday, even when I'm dragging y'all, I still find a way to give them out almost every Thursday. Okay, don't pay attention to the tap that bio link. I still haven't updated that, but it should be Neena R. Spear Law Firm instead of NR Spear Law Firm LLC. I just wanted everything to be consistent branding, and you will learn that that's really important for trademarks. If you don't have consistent branding, it makes it really hard to make the case that you have developed a brand that's distinct enough to be recognized in the industry. So without further ado, let's get started. So y'all know I love to do fun stuff. So this is a checklist. This checklist is something you're going to get at the very end of the presentation in a PDF format. It'll have stuff hyperlinked and cool things like that. And there will also be a offers thing in that same PDF that will be sent to you afterwards. All you have to do to secure those things is to text the number that is scrolling at the bottom, 205-490-8068, your first name and your email, and we will be sure to send you the checklist and the keepsake for the conference, which is the Podia digital download. And y'all, when I tell you everything that you need to find about this conference, all the speakers, all their YouTube links, all of that is on that Podia link. You want it. And if you're watching this stream right now, it's in the caption. So you can go click it and enroll right now. So that's cool. That's good information. But this checklist, I run through this with almost every single client I go through, and I'm giving you guys that straight from the dome. If I don't go through these with you, if people who form your business don't go through these questions with you, they're not really thinking about your business in the long term. They're thinking about it in the short term. So this checklist is a good thing, and you can check your family, you can check your friends, just take this checklist on over to them. And if they don't have these things, tell them just get these things so it doesn't seem so overwhelming, right? I put it into three things at the top and then two final things at the bottom that are more high level. I'm trying to get funding. I'm ready for licensing deals type stuff. Now, I always recommend doing the last one, number 5 first, which is trademarking your business with your LLC formation process. And if you're getting people forming those things, maybe you want to consider getting both. That's just something to think about as you develop your business. But that's stuff that I tell my clients, and you guys get that for free just today. So let's get in there. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is what's included in a trademark search and registration package. And maybe if you have inquired with us about trademark registrations, then you already know what's in my package. You're like, Neena, I know this, girl. You got to tell me. But all of this stuff is included. So I'm going to take myself off so you guys can see this a little bit better. So all of this stuff is included in the package. And if you guys know at the very bottom, it says how long I'm going to be with you, 8 to 12 months. Oh, my goodness. I don't know why I make this type of commitment to y'all, but because I love you. Because I love you, that's why I do it. But the reason why this is important for you guys to remember is that a lot of people get, floored. And they're like, oh my gosh, I can do it myself. But think about it. It's a 12-month process for a life cycle of a trademark anyway. So if there's an attorney willing to stay with you for the life cycle, if you think about somebody being with you for 12 months, do you know how many times my trademark clients need to call me? Do you see this correspondence with client that's included? So that means I'm not nickel and diming you. I'm not nickel and diming you for calling me. How many times do my trademark clients call? All the time. How many times do I answer? All the time. And the only way that I can make that customized experience for them is that I prioritize the things that are important to them. So for them, they want to know how to grow their business. So I built out a client experience package so that they can have that experience. If you guys notice, there are some things that are highlighted in purple. These are the more important things that I highlight when I break it down for a client. I usually try to use purple or some other color designation in order to make it easy for them to sift through this material, because I know you're not going to read it. I just know. I know. Your girl knows, okay? So the reason why I do that is so that you can find the important stuff quickly. If you want to have an intent to use application, that does come with an extra $100 that you have to file later. But these intent to use applications allow you to get into launch mode. So if you've ever been trying to launch your business, this is the best application to use because it allows you to launch in secret, kind of, because it does go on the public register, but it allows you to go ahead and get that protection before you tell that friend that might take your idea. And that's something that's really cool that most people just don't know about trademarks. If there are payment plans needed, it does increase slightly, but not that much. And you can go through the process in 3 stages. So, I'll do the initial search. You'll get the results after you pay the second installment. And then finally, you will get the application filed and registered after you pay the 3rd installment. So I've actually split mine into 2. I used to do 3, but it's a lot easier for you to just have 1, 2 done so I can go ahead and get to work for you. So I try to make sure that people have a full walkthrough process, and I want you to secure your trademark. So what's next? Next thing I want you guys to do is an activity. Yay, fun activities. That was real quick. Are my presentations over already or no? It's not. So if you are listening in the interweb universe, I have created this activity, and I'm not even going to tell you what these words mean. So if you haven't been paying the trademark that Thursday, this is where the people who were engaged and was like, yeah, Neena, I'm with you every trademark that Thursday. I'm going to listen to all your videos. I'm going to make sure I know exactly what I'm talking about when I tell my homegirl or my homeboy about trademarks. Okay. So if that was you, then this activity should be very simple. I want you to comment your business name in the comments box, and I want you to write which word you think is associated with your business name, what strength. And I'm not telling you anything. I'm not giving you definitions. No, we're going to go through what you actually know and what you don't know. And if you know it, you know it. And if you don't know it, you don't know it. Okay, so let's walk through it. If you have a business name, I want you to take that time to go ahead, right, and drop it in the comment box. And if I can't see it, you can just text me, right? You can just text me that. If I can't see your comments or you're trying to comment and I can't look at it for some reason, it's just not visible. That's okay. Like that. Oh, wait, sorry, y'all. But that's okay. If I can't see your comments, you don't have to worry about that. But just remember that if you have a comment or if you want me to give you any type of good lesson, go ahead and let me know that you guys have something in your mind about trademarks. I'll wait. I'll give you about 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 seconds. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Put a timer on you. Yeah, I like timers. So I'll be back in 30 seconds. Let's see what y'all come up with in my comments. Y'all come up with anything? I want to go check. So let me go check a couple places. Make sure you guys ain't cheating, putting it somewhere where I can't see it. Gotta check everything. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I do see some stuff, some notifications. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to accept that maybe y'all don't know. And that's good because then I can teach you something, right? When you admit you don't know what you don't know, then people can actually pour into you and teach you. So let's go through this. Fanciful, strongest, arbitrary, stronger, suggestive, weak but still strong, descriptive, weaker, generic, weakest. What does that even mean? Well, it's okay because I have a whole other slide that defines that in a second. So we'll go through that. But let me do one more thing, one more hard thing. All right, so this is for the people who have already filed their trademark and they ran into an issue. Oh my gosh, how many times has that happened? Never, never. Yes, it happens all the time. A lot of people come to me after they've already filed. Some people use things like LegalZoom. Some people use another person that might not have used like an attorney, but there are some people that are not attorneys out here filing trademark applications. Again, to each his own, but I wouldn't do it. I would make sure that they knew the trademark code section because you will get unnecessary office actions if they don't know the rules. So these are the 4 common types of trademark application issues that clients will face. And this one at the top, that 2D refusal, if you got it, and I know you know who you are, all right? So if you're watching this and you know you got that 2D refusal, go ahead and call you a trademark attorney for reals. Okay, it is scary, but it's not impossible. Okay, the reason why it's a 2D refusal is because you didn't do the work on the front end to do the search correctly. A search needs to be extensive enough to be able to predict what the EA or the examining attorney is going to say in your application case. And if you had done the search on the front end, you would learn that there were probably 3 to 5 other people with the same name in your industry that also got refused for using the same name with the same services for a person who already had a trademark with that same name already registered. That's usually where you make the error. And sometimes you can make the case like, look, man, he got a registration, but there's a lot of people out there that also have the registration. So there are ways around it, but it requires a lot of proof and a well-written legal memo. You do not want to try to write that yourself. You can try. I mean, law school maybe taught you a few things if you're in law school, but I would just recommend getting somebody to do it for you because we sometimes get passionate and zealous in our advocating for ourselves, especially in these. They don't care. In fact, when I did the training, I learned that they actually get more points, right, when your application process is quicker. And so that means that if your application is done right the very first time, they actually get rewarded. So they have an incentive, right, to help people who do the application right the first time, which means that they're more likely to push you on through, even though everything is not perfect. Okay, so make sure your application is tight and you don't have something like a 2D refusal because they don't like those. All right. Improper specimen. It's pretty easy to recover. It can be daunting to do by yourself because sometimes, even though you read the USPTO website, you still try to push something forward that is not a proper specimen. It doesn't have the proper rules. They change the rules up on websites. They make us like go screenshot, get the URL, the date access, and they don't have the time access yet, but they do want us to go get the date access and put that in there. And people don't even know how to do that, right? They're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? I mean, this is my website. Like, I don't know how to capture that. Well, that's what a trademark attorney, that's why I end up recommending trademark attorneys to people, because a lot of you don't know how to do that. And it's a lot to explain, because if you go to the TMEP, and you guys can look this up, I'm not going to look it up right now in front of you because we got a lot to talk about, but the TMEP is dense, okay? It is not a short document. So it's not something you can just master by Googling it, okay? It is long hours of reading over and over again and trying to find holes in the case law, because the TMEP is just the code. Then the code is used in the case law. And then you go research the case law and try to find something to basically go over the examining attorney's head. And that's not a fun process, okay? There are some people who get multiple classes, and that's for people, most people like y'all don't have this issue unless you had a trademark attorney do it maybe. And your trademark attorney can get this if for some reason you're trying to push everything into one class and it's not going to fit. You know, there's some things that just got to go, like books gots to go in, class 16. You can't just push it up in, other classes like 041, like membership and stuff. So yeah, you might want to like consider that. It will cost more. You will have to pay per class, and per class is the same as the filing fee. That is going to go up, y'all. In January the 2nd, it's going to go from $275 to $350. Okay, on January 2nd. So now is the best time to get a trademark, because if you want to do multiple classes, this the time. So if you got a trademark application and you like, oh my gosh, what can I do? I want to cover a lot of things. Well, this the time. Okay, so call your friend, call your trademark attorney that you know, and get that stuff done. Last is ornamental. This is usually t-shirt companies. I have advised many clients, okay, especially t-shirt companies, copyright the t-shirt design. Make sure that you put a shirt tag on the, shirt tag, little t-shirt tag that's in the back. Put it as a logo like Nike does, or you can put it in the back of the shirt. Now that's what the USPTO told us directly. All right. So that's something to keep in mind, that you can do that with your t-shirt, and it will also help your trademark attorney out, and maybe even help your prices, right? Because they don't have to explain something to you because you already did it, right? Oh yeah, I already got the shirt tag, girl. I just want you to help me go ahead and trademark it, because it's going to become a collection and a brand, and I want you to do it. It's not necessarily one t-shirt. You're going to have to like come up with a multiple line of things, and it's not just emblazoned across your front t-shirt. So don't think like that. Think shirt tags. Think about when you look in the back of your shirt and you see the shirt tag, who is that person? That's where you want your logo to be prevalent for the trademark examiner, to prevent getting that rejection, because that rejection kind of hurts, because you feel like it was a good idea, very catchy. But people, you cannot just trademark catchy phrases, okay? Make it a slogan, put it on your website, okay? Next part. This is one that you guys can know. Maybe you guys will comment on this one. I don't know. I can't see all your comments all the time. Hey, I am Emma Saibu with I Care Home. Okay, I see you, Emma. All right. So funny enough, Emma, you actually have some components of your name that is somewhat strong. It's more suggestive. And then you have some that are even arbitrary because of what you do. So we'll talk about that, Emma. That's pretty cool. I like that. Definitely send me a text, 205-490-8068. Or, comment or stay engaged throughout this presentation and let me know more about what you think. But we're going to get to the strength of your names in a second. I just want to make sure that I go through all my little activities with y'all first. So if you guys have heard of these, y'all know my favorite one is at the top, WAP by Cardi B. And if y'all didn't know what Cardi B's company was, I just went and, did the extra 2-3 lines down research and put it down there for you guys. It's Wash Poppin' Incorporated. This is a corporation. What does that mean? Even Cardi B said, you know what, I need a corporation. She's not doing any trademarks in her name. So if you are trying to do a trademark, I would just strongly advise don't do it in your name. Please, just can you promise me that you won't do it in your name? Please. That's the one thing that I can tell you that I see a lot of people trying to do because they want their name on something. But just do it in your business name, because if you ever get sued, they're going to be able to attach your personal assets if they sue you. Okay, so why would you want that opening anyway? The other ones that you may or may not know are Play-Doh. Play-Doh actually has a smell mark because apparently Play-Doh has some smell, like rusty cherries. I don't know. It's really kind of concerning because I never knew the trademark had. I never knew that. One second. I never knew that anybody had a smell mark until I did a trademark conference, and this guy showed me the registration link, and I went and looked at it, and behold, it is a smell mark. So you can even have a distinct enough smell, all right, and it will identify the source of the goods. The source of the goods here is Play-Doh. Y'all all know Crown millions of dollars really quickly, about 90 minutes. That's all it took for her to make millions of dollars. She trademarked her stuff. She is very popular. Y'all know her. So that's something to keep in mind. And then y'all's favorite, Beyonce, she did it as well, and it's still pending for baby products. Someone did try to challenge her though, right? And it did not work out for her because old girl, even though she had filed before Beyonce filed in baby products. This lady filed Blue Ivy events in event planning. Two are not the same nor related. So trademark office told her no. Beyonce, I think Beyonce just gets special protections. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I think that that's just really the rule. But that I thought that was funny because a lot of us, could go up against a Beyonce and then still be wrong, right? Because nobody truly knows what the examining attorney is going to decide, because they can be strict followers of the rules or they can be open to new rules. The lady who does like your trademark could be open, right? And they could suggest a new way for you to go ahead and classify it. And they are the only ones that would accept it written that way. And the other examining attorney could not. And that's why most people get a trademark attorney, because they're so hard to predict. And so if they say no, then no one knows how to get around that. So that's important. These are ones that you may or may not know. If you watch this later, comment the ones that you know. All right, cool. So this is the basics. All this information you've probably seen before. It's going to be repetitive talking to you. But tell your friends, okay? A trademark is a word, symbol, phrase, and or design that identifies the source of good service used in commerce. All I need you to remember from there is that it identifies the source. If you are not using your brand to identify the source, that means you're putting it on your packaging. It means you have it at the headers of your website. It means that if you have retail, like shirts, apparel, every single tag is associated with it, has your logo and your brand name on it. That's why it says source. It identifies the source. So if you literally don't ever publish it and you just tell people and you're known by your friends as such and such, that's not the same thing. It has to be identified in the industry and used in commerce. So Michael Jordan has made a name for himself. There's a brand, something behind that. You can't use his name and likeness in a certain way. But this word, symbol, phrase, you can take your name, right? He could have taken his name, or he has taken his name and protected it. And he just fought a very hard process in China called with Kyokudan, if you guys do read up on it later, that took 8 years. And that's Michael Jordan, right? He's a whole celebrity, and it took him 8 years to finally get them to take it down, okay? And Kyokudan literally translates as Jordan. So literally it was his product. They were stealing it. China has such nuanced laws that they were able to get away with it until finally they used the celebrity status exception, and he was able to get out of that. The things that I want you to know about trademarks is there are different types of marks depending on what you're getting. So if you have a brand name and no stylized font, then it's just a word mark. If you have a sound mark, that's like the Aflac, that duck, that Aflac duck is a sound mark, like it's actually recorded. I don't know the registration number for that one, just Play-Doh, because that was fascinating to me. The smell mark for Play-Doh. So that's smell that's distinctive. And then the design mark, which is what you guys are more likely going to start trying to protect, right? Because you're going to put your logos on things to identify the source, not necessarily your business and brand name. That's stuff that's going to go on flyers and signature events and things like that. But for your products and your product packaging, please use your logo if you can. I mean, you can put both, right? You can put a logo that incorporates your brand name. definitely, but I really think the logo helps you distinguish your brand, right? Because you have an image to represent you. That's how you are able to identify yourself in the market and make it distinct, make it different, make it unique. And if you don't know how to make it unique, right, just look up things in your industry, right? You can look up your industry, or you have your trademark attorney look up logos in your industry, and y'all can do a strategy session based off of those logos and try to make sure that you develop something very distinct. When you have distinct logos, it's a lot better, right? Than if you have something that's not so distinct. If it's a very complicated logo, just be advised, you're going to have a lot of design codes, okay? So be very careful. If you're going to try to file that one on your own, you're going to have a lot of design codes that you're going to have to look up in the design code manual, and it's extensive as well. So make sure if you have those more, people, books, and suits and whatever else in your logo, and you have cartoonized characters, all of that is going to end up being a design code that you may or may not have to be a little bit more intricate with when you submit. All right, guys, my fun part. These are things that you probably don't know. These are words that I just want you to know the definition of. Specimen, that's evidence of proof of use in commerce. So you will have your trademark attorney like, hey, girl, I gotta get something for you so I can get the specimen to the trademark office. That's all that means. It's just evidence of proof of use in the commerce in the market. You have to use it, and you have to have proof. Thanks, girl. I appreciate that feedback. This is good. This is good. I be trying to tell people I gotta get information, but you gotta sit down and listen. Sit your butt down and listen. Got you. So the mark. I told you I was going to get to you the strength stuff, but I wanted to make sure that I explained the surface stuff and kind of got a feel for what I have in the audience right now. So right now I know I got home companion sitter services. So I'm going to think about home health right now. And then I see stylista 1908. So I think that's representative of I believe it's the AKs. Don't beat me up if it's not. And then style. So I'm gonna think fashion and I'm gonna think home care at this moment because that's what I got. Okay. So for my fashion people, you know about that red bottom heel. Okay, that red bottom heel is trademarked. Okay, and the way that they achieved it was through a special exception through the 5 years in commerce exception. And then after they achieved it in the US, they took it to the EU, the European Union. They also achieved it there. So that red bottom heel is trademarked in the European Union and here in the US. And they did that 5-year exception, right? Because there's all sorts of rules that are exceptions. But that is a distinctive product design, okay? That's called trade dress. That's what you don't know, but that's product packaging. So if you have unique product packaging, that is what your trademark attorney can do. They can protect the trade dress that you put your stuff in. If you put your stuff in something that looks like a book, well, guess what? You can protect the trade dress that packaging goes to your consumer in, okay? That is something that people don't know, they don't think about. Marks that are strong. And if you hear the word mark, I don't want you to be confused. All that is what you are trying to protect. So a mark is how your good or service is recommended or represented in the market. So if you use words, boom, it's the words. If you use a logo, boom, it's the logo. If you have a service, what do you call your brand name? Okay, so think about marks as that. Because I know you're going to hear this, right? And your attorney's more than likely not going to use these words, but I don't like to dumb stuff down for people. I like to build you up so you know and you ready to help your trademark attorney help you. All right, so we can be ready. All right, so y'all gonna know what these words mean. So strong marks or strong words that are good in the market are fanciful marks and arbitrary marks. This is the Google versus Apple. Google was made up. Apple is a word that naturally exists in the English language. It has been repurposed for a new purpose, right? That's how you can distinguish whether or not you got a good name or not, okay? Is the word that you're using in your business, is that something that is commonly associated with that industry? Okay, so if Apple was selling apples, that would not be good. That would be generic, okay, and it'll be weak. Descriptive marks are a little bit stronger and you can slide through, right? So if I say, cheesy for pizza, right, then I'm good, right? That works because it's a little bit more descriptive, even though we know that's probably going to be common in the industry. And then if I say something like penguin for a refrigerator, that could also be good, but that's suggestive, right? Because refrigerators and penguins are not naturally associated with each other, but A penguin lives in a cold environment, i.e. refrigerator. So that's how you have to start thinking about the levels to this. It's levels to this. And the weak generic marks is, I kid you not, I get those types of business names all the time in my consultations, information sessions. And it's not that it's bad, right? I mean, you can still find the trademark application successful, even with a generic mark or generic words, right, that everybody uses. However, if you want something that is a little bit stronger and more likely to be a guaranteed application, then you want to have those fanciful marks, those arbitrary marks. Who knew about Xerox? Who knew about Kodak? Who knew about Google before they created those things? So that would be cool, right? You create a whole new word in the English language, because I tell people to just go Google that like it's a whole word, and Google created it out of thin air. So that could be you and your business. So that's what I tell people. I would love to make up words in the English language, and if you can, do it with a trademark. All right, so the fun part. Office actions. This is a big scare tactic in most of trademark applications. If you don't know how to handle them, most people just abandon the whole application because they don't know what they're doing, and they abandon it. It's okay. But attorneys are actually very, very good at helping things. And sometimes your office action is simple and it can be easily helped along. And sometimes it is not. It goes back to those ones I mentioned earlier, the 2Ds, bad specimens, and things like that. The most harmful one or the most destructive one is that 2D, right? And ornamental, because they are saying that you don't have any distinctive qualities. It is not even trademark level, or you do have distinctive qualities. However, somebody else already has this trademark, so you can't protect it. And that's just not a good position to be in, right? So you don't want to be in that position. So that's what this office action is. It's just a hurdle, right? It's a hurdle, but it's not impossible to overcome. So the next thing I want you guys to know is the difference between 1A and 1B. You're going to hear me tell you this. If you are a client, you're going to hear me say this a lot. Do you want a 1A? Do you want a 1B? 1A gives you protections as if you have been using this in the market for a very long time, and you can go all the way back to when you first started the brand. Now, that is for somebody that has everything established the way they want it to be established. If they have built the brand and have a whole brand community built, then you don't need the 1B application. However, if you are developing the brand or in the process, you have all these different ideas of where you want to see your brand go, then that 1B application is sounding more like you. Because if you do a 1A application, it's only for things that you already have represented in the market that you're using. And it's very difficult, right, if you don't have that stuff already set up, okay? So if you got a doctor's office, you got to take a picture of, the different things that you have for that, right? The doctor's office is completely different from somebody that does some type of empowerment, okay? But they still have a website and a header, okay? But they go through a different process than somebody who has t-shirts and things like that. Because if you have goods in the market, you can take a picture of the good, right, itself. People who have service-based businesses, they actually have to rely on websites. They sometimes have to rely on business cards. I prefer the website header. If you don't have a website, y'all, Facebook business page. That's my cheat for you. 1A applications require all the proof up front. So I'm gonna need your specimen. I'm gonna need your proof that you use this in the market day one of us talking. However, most of my clients and me, I prefer 1B applications. This allows you a little bit more time to develop your brand and get ready for launch mode. It's about 3 months, 3 to 6 months tops. But then after 3 to 6 months, you need to be ready. But you don't have to. If you're not ready, you can extend it for up to, I believe it's 5 times at 6 months a piece. So that gives you a lot of extra time. You do got to pay, okay? Pay per extension. And they are increasing their prices in January 2nd, 2021. So it is not going to be cheap forever. Right now, I think it's $125. It's going to go up. Okay. It's going to keep going up. And they have literally given us a sliding scale. Mind you, a bunch of trademark attorneys said, no, we don't think that this should go up. They already pay a lot. But, USPTO don't really listen to us like that. So, yeah. Price is going up, and that filing, the 275, and a lot of people ask me about the 275 versus the 225. Let me tell you this. The 225 only works if you never make any mistakes, period. You got everything in your application straight. You are completely ready. All your stuff online is flawless. If you ever make a mistake, you end up having to pay more than you would if you pay for the 275 app. That's something that you don't know, right? Because we are taught to do everything on the cheap route, right? Because cheap means keeping my overhead low. Wrong in the trademark field. If you keep your overhead low and you make a mistake on that application, then you are going to get cost associated. They won't charge you $100 here, $100 there for every mistake you keep on making. So you don't pick the low one. Always pick the 275. So if you're gonna file it yourself, 275, gonna be 350 in the new year. That's crazy. I do not agree with that. But that's the difference between 1A and 1B applications. So let's go to the next one. This is what you really need to know because everybody gets this confused. Copyright is protecting the original work of authorships. Trademarks protects the brand names and the logos. That's how I try to distinguish it for clients. Now you can use copyright to protect logos and things like that, but it's not the same level of protection as a trademark. Copyright, if somebody just changes a little bit, right, they can get away with copying your stuff and things like that, especially if they don't know you exist and they just end up doing it on their own. They have a big free pass. And then that fair use doctrine, using it for teaching purposes or things like that, that's possible, right? Because if I'm teaching someone about McDonald's, they're not going to sue me for putting McDonald's in there because they might be trademarked. Okay, so that's something that's important for you to remember as you continue to build your brand, is that copywriting is one thing that you could do and trademarking is other. This is the difference between the two that I highlight to my clients. One allows you to do 10 in one, and one only allows you to do one at a time, do separate applications for each. Which one do you think it is? Comment in the comment box. Is it copyright or trademark? I did not give you any hints in the slide because I wanted you guys to answer this question openly and honestly. So is it copyright or is it trademark where you can do multiple in one application? I'll give y'all some time. It won't be the full 30 seconds, but I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of time to answer. Boom. So let's see what answers I got. All right, I'll check on over here. Make sure y'all ain't answering where I can't see. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. So I didn't see any answers, so nobody gets the prize. Darn it. Maybe we'll get it next time. We'll get a prize next time. But it is copyright. So copyright allows you to do that. Copyright means that if, okay, you have not already published it. So for my podcasters out there, y'all need to stop doing a podcast and licensing it every week. What y'all need to do is go on Zoom, record about 10 podcasts, then copyright that beat, then release all of them on a time schedule. Okay, same thing with my people who put stuff out and it streams across the thing for music. Like 10 of those first, then copyright it, then stream it. Okay, a lot of people. Unfortunately, Emma, it's not trademarked. So good try. A lot of people do think it's trademarked, so they be coming to me talking about like, Neena, can I do what you can do with a trademark, which is fun. It's the classes. Classes allow you to protect multiple areas with the same name. So if I want to trademark the business name, let's say Tips from Neena, okay? So if I want to trademark that for learning purposes, then I can also protect that in classes for books, classes for courses, membership services, if that's what I wanted to trademark. But for copyright, right? I could actually take 10 of these videos that I'm making and I could copyright all of those at the same time. I would just submit the videos to the copyright office. They would either approve or disapprove something. This is for people who aim to teach or intend to do coursework and things like that for people, because we are in an e-course society now. So you're more than likely going to have to record things. You're going to have marketing materials. You're going to have learning materials and guidance materials that you provide to your clients. And all of that stuff should be copyrighted. So before you do a presentation and things like that, you can copyright that. You can submit your information to the copyright office. And one thing that people do not know about copyrights is that it starts at the filing, not at the registration like a trademark. So I tell people, you know, if you can't trademark, at least copyright something. Get yourself some minimal protections. I like copyright for my retail business. I use it for all of my retail stuff before I drop it on my Etsy store. I'll go ahead and hide it in the Etsy store before I've filed it. And then once I filed it, then I go ahead and show it on my Etsy store. So that's a good technique that you can use. So you can publish it to your site, but make it hidden behind like, you know, a little window until you're ready to show it and it's actually been copyrighted. And that will allow you to put 10 in one. If for some reason you've already published it, people are already buying the product, you can only do one at a time, just like a trademark. That's the downside that most people I've talked to face, because they've already sold it. They've already marketed it. So everything that you put up there on the internet isn't necessarily already in the market, but once you've sold it to people online, or licensed its use to people online, or licensed it to anybody, period, that's used or published in the market. And that means that you have to do the standard application, which is one for each individual item that you want to copyright. Don't like that method. I really want you to do it before you release it or before you launch your next product line. Okay? So that's all I'm going to say about that. But that's the difference between those two. Trademarking is really more protections. Copyrights is less protections. That's all you really need to remember between those two. Copyrights are important for their reasons, for books and teaching materials, and trademarks are important for protecting a signature name or a title or a symbol in the market. That's really important. And copyrights have to be fixed, so you can't protect an idea. I told my friend, those are non-disclosure agreements, and that's something that you can talk about after this presentation. All right, guys. There's a difference. I teach this almost every time, and almost every time I blow someone's mind. An unregistered trademark is actually represented by TM. If you see TM next to somebody, that means they're in the process of trademarking their stuff. They don't have it trademarked yet, but they are trying to put people on notice. So once you get your application filed, you don't put that TM by your name. You want to scare people away from touching your stuff so you don't have to sue them later. So you need to let them know, don't get sued, honey. Just pick another name. Pick another name. But once you get that registered R, it's a circle R. That's why I like to call it. Once you get that, that's a registered trademark. So every single thing you see in front of you, and I always like to bring the stuff that I have around me, and I like to use Starbucks a lot. So if you look at next to this Starbucks logo, okay, there's a little registered R, okay? And Starbucks has about 600 applications filed right now that are still active. That is concerning, y'all. Y'all should be concerned, because if Starbucks has 600, that means they understand the purpose behind trademarking extends way beyond just protecting their name and their brand. They don't want anybody to take over their entire company, because how many times have people said, I'm going to go make another Starbucks. I'm going to make a different Starbucks. No, you can't make any variation of Starbucks. They will sue, okay? They will sue you, and you will lose, more than likely, okay? There are some people who won, but it's very rare cases, okay? So once you have that registrar, you got that type of right. You can say cease and desist, give me your profits, all sorts of stuff. Okay? Y'all okay? You tired? You want to talk about your day some? It's okay. I'm going to stop talking in a quick second. So these are the things that you guys can trademark: your logo, your business name, motions. Hasn't been done very often, but motions, like the Krispy Kreme on-off sign. Thoughts? Sounds. It's not very often, but you can. Smells, Play-Doh, touch and feel. Tactile trademarks have not really been popular. Taste. There's not been one done, but you can. There just hasn't been one done that we know of. Because distinctive tastes they're just interesting to try to argue for. Because they're going to say that it's not distinctive enough, or it has ingredients that everybody could have. They just go back and forth. So there's a lot of mixed law behind that. If you become the first person to do the taste mark, I would love to be the person who works on it, because all this stuff fascinates me. Slogans, phrases, and event titles. For the taste stuff, I know you're probably thinking of recipes. That's more like a patent, okay? That's not really trademark land. So just remember that. Keep that in mind. If it is a recipe, you can create a trade secret. Trade secret is actually better than a patent, because patent puts your recipe out there for the world to see. Trade secret keeps it private. And that's anything that can give you an unfair advantage in the marketplace. So that would be a great thing for you to secure for yourself. These are informational slides. I actually send these straight to my clients after I have either filed their application or I have started their client experience project. This is so that they can understand the ideal process of a 1B application. It'll be filed. It'll happen in month 1. The next 3 months, you need to build your brand. And then, it gives them instructions And then the final steps that most people miss is 9 and 10, is that at the 5-6 year mark, you actually have to file another Section 8 declaration. And at the 10-year mark, you have to file a Section 8 and a Section 9 declaration. Okay, so if you are not an attorney, you would not know to do this. So this is technically a 10-year process. I will only be with you for the first year. But if you do want us to come back and do that filing for you, you can totally do that. But that is the process of holding a trademark. In order for you to hold it for a lifetime or just a long time, you have to show continued use over a 10-year process. And after 10 years, then you Gucci, okay? It's not going to get abandoned. They're not going to take it away from you. But if you're not using it after 10 years, it's somebody else needs to be able to secure that trademark. So they have to keep fluidity happening in this market. All right. So same thing with 1A, but the only difference with 1A is that you don't have an extra $100 filing. You do save money with a 1A, but you got to come correct. You got to be ready, okay? Next are problems. We talked about this. There's office action. You can either submit a timely response or you can respond and it fails. And sometimes they can just abandon it. They'll send you a final letter, they'll issue a letter, and you might have a chance to, appeal it if you want to, but it's very rare that they overcome it very easily unless you have an exorbitant amount of evidence. But, to each his own. There are some applications that you just have to rethink, go back to the drawing board. Same thing with the 1A. You're going to run into some issues. You will have a chance to recertify, do a TTAB proceeding with litigation if you need to, because you can go over the examining attorney's head. This is information that I just wanted you guys to be aware of. This is why I decided to make this field more important for me in my practice, and making sure that other people are knowledgeable, because there are very few Black people in IP law. This is actually from real life people, and I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can kind of see their testimonies because they're really important. But these are Black people. They were saying that the only reason why they even entered the market is because they had someone who helped them, that this was uneven in the tech industry. Some people went so far as to say, and I love John Gillis's quote, it's basically imagine playing Monopoly with no starting money and no property. Everyone else is much more ahead. There are so many trademark law firms out there that do not, include Black people in their demographics and their makeup. And so the clients don't actually get the full services that they need because they don't have someone that is responsive to the specific needs of that specific client. So that's something that I think that we need to correct. And that's the reason why I put that slide in here. Last 2 slides. Here are things that you should think about if you are an entrepreneur. There are entrepreneur benefits and there are entrepreneur weaknesses. You can have benefits such as mixture of clients. You can customize your practice area or your choice. You can have family time increase, right? You set your hours. You create the work-life balance. That might be hard for some of you, definitely for me. Making time for your own personal development, that's important. I mean, I grow all the time. I do some 100, I have a current challenge right now. So if you guys want to join me, I'm doing 100 burpees for 30 days. I am now on day 11, so I have to do 100 burpees tonight before bed. And I'll also be doing, I think, 70 squats. So that's my own personal development that I'm working on myself because I hate burpees. You can also decide when you get a raise. I do give myself a raise, but I give myself a raise based off of what type of work I have done and the type of experience that I have gained after years of practice, or even more clients that have difficult matters. You can pursue your passion. You can also work from home. You can have paid vacations. You can have a maximum pay per client. You can have limitless. Innovation is going to be your choice. You can donate your time to causes you care about. Now, this is a weakness unless you get a lawyer consultant. There's unpredictable income. Lack of resources of a regular employer, may have to take on clients you don't want at first. Definitely had to do that. Huge learning curve. Definitely huge, y'all. No one but my mentors taught me. But even then, it was so hard sometimes because they couldn't always answer the phone, y'all. So I was still here. I don't know how to do this case. I never had to do. You just got to learn on the fly. You don't really have many people to bounce ideas off of. Even though you're in an entrepreneur community, a lot of people keep stuff to themselves. They do not share. I don't know what that's about. That's just crazy to me because I'm sharing left and right because I feel like at the end of the day, someone first shared with me. So why would I keep anything that I have a secret? I mean, unless it's relevant to my job, like what I do for people. Like I cannot explain everything I know in one day, but I did pretty good for, 40-minute session. Last but not least is you learn as you go, business expenses, and there are no health benefits. You got to pay for your own health care. What? It's crazy. There are situations where you might not have to, or you can get that covered through your industry. I know for lawyers, they have some type of subsidized group plans that they try to put together in Alabama to try to make it easier for lawyers. But that plan, I looked into it. It's not that great. I actually ended up, and I from time to time. I ended up working for DoorDash. That's a little bit of history that you didn't know. But I ended up working for DoorDash in my first year because if you know my story, I made $80. So $80 is not enough to pay the healthcare provider. And so I actually worked for them and it was able to secure a decent healthcare proposal based off how much I made and it based off my income. So I mean, get it how you live it. Like you got to be an entrepreneur, but you also got to get that money. There are employer benefits. And this is something that I want to talk to you guys about because I do always try to communicate that it's important for you to get into entrepreneurial world, but some of us are not ready. Okay. You're not ready to leave your job. There are benefits to having your job. Okay. So don't just leave your job. Okay. There are people that I know that are successful entrepreneurs that do both. Okay. So there are benefits to having your job, right? It's consistent money or resources. You can have built-in clientele there. You can even customize your practice area possible, but you have to ask. So you can even customize the things that you offer outside of work, but you got to ask, right? I had to ask Regions when I was interviewing for a job there if I would be able to keep my law firm, and they said no. And I was like, but I don't do anything related to, and they're like, no. So that was a no for me. So again, every employer is different, but they may even let you run your business and work for their business. So, I mean, we're in COVID now, so a lot of things are up in the air that were never up in the air before. The employers usually have resources for your stuff, team of coworkers to bounce ideas off, documents and forms for work assistance and business expenses are included, get health benefits. The weaknesses. These are the weaknesses. You get a fractional income for the long hours. So you can pay yourself what you deserve when you work for yourself. When you work for someone else, the income is based off of their income salary structure. You might be limited in taking on the people and clients that you want because of this employer. It's a huge learning curve sometimes. You might not have anybody to bounce ideas off of even here. A lot of people don't know this, but sometimes they just want you to be a workhorse and they might not necessarily want you to have an opinion. There is a lot of learning as you go. Business expenses become overwhelming on your own if you're trying to build and work on this. So you're trying to build up your company and doing that. They can become a little bit overwhelming because you've never had to try to balance a job, the expenses of running a business, and trying to be present in that business. And you may be able to start your new business while working, but some jobs prevent you from having other jobs. And I say that because I don't want you guys to, think that that's not important. Last but not least, I'm going to end this with some motivation for me. So if you've been staying all the way until the very end of this talk, you will actually get a free 15-minute collab call with me in 2021. All you have to do is send that text I told you about earlier, 205-490-8068 with the hashtag trademark that Thursdays, and you will get a free, quick 15-minute. I don't even do free, y'all. I don't do no free consultations. Period. And this is a 15-minute collab call. This is usually what I only reserve. The not sharing with people. Yeah. Emma, let me tell you, girl, it is very weird, the not sharing with people, because at the end of the day, if I share with you any resources or information that I have, I guarantee you God's going to bless me tenfold. So if you are not sharing, you are mean, and I don't like you. Take it like that. But back to what I was telling you guys. So just, that number, 205-490-8006. All you have to do is take the name of this talk, trademark that Thursdays, put a hashtag in front of it, send it to us with your name and email, and we will send you the link so that you can book this. This is actually only reserved for my pre-law students that want mentorship. So this is 15 minutes for you to talk to me about anything that you want. It's got to fit in 15 minutes. I will cut you off the phone. But My second thing is a little bit of motivation. Plenty of people doubted me. But when I went from $80 to 5 figures in less than a year, so I'm letting you know that was something that I did. $80. That's all they paid me law firm wise. Didn't make money from the book. That did help a little bit cushion wise because I did publish the book and start the law firm the same year. But the cushion wasn't enough to like break the bank in my first year, okay? Because I was learning how to do a book just like y'all would probably be learning. And I was learning how to do a practice just like a lot of free pro bono cases so I could just learn the information. Yes, really, girl, free. All you got to do is text me 205-490-8068 with the word hashtag trademark that Thursdays, and you get a free 15-minute collab call where you can ask me any question that you want. It has to fit in the 15 minutes. I will cut you off after 15 minutes. I never do this, y'all. I just wanted to do it for y'all. And this is my signature talk. Last but not least, you will get a signed copy of my new book that's coming out in 2021. If you book and pay for a consultation, a real one, we will also send you that link. If you text 205-490-8068 and you just say free new book or something like that, but it's only for the first 10 people. So we will actually send you a free copy of the new book that I have that's coming out in 2021 if you go ahead and book and pay. And if you book and pay this whole weekend, I normally charge $350 per hour or $350 per consultation. It's going to be $200 for the entire weekend. That means from today, right now, all the way until Monday morning at 12 a.m. Okay, it will be $200. So if you pay your $200 and you're the first 10 people, you will get a free new book from me. You will get it'll be $150 off a VIP exclusive session with me for trademarks. It will also happen if you do that texting from the very beginning. You will also get that free book, and you will also get a 15-minute free collab session to ask me any question that you want in this industry or whatever questions you really want to ask. 15 minutes though. It's 50. I will cut you off. I love y'all. Love y'all with the love of God, but I will cut you off because I only actually give free time away to pre-law students. The reason being is that I want to prioritize advising them and helping them through the process because nobody did that for me when it came to this industry except for a couple of attorneys. And it would have meant a lot if I had somebody tell me that I could do this. This was a field that I would, and that they were willing to mentor me. All right. And if you pay $200 this weekend only, all weekend it'll be $150 off. And this is a VIP exclusive session. So this is not like my normal consultations, guys. So if you're paying for this $200 session, typically you would pay about $350 for this session and you would get a jam pack. So this is a Trademark That Thursday specific session for you, customized. And all of this information will be in that packet I send you guys, but how can you guys get it? Do you remember? You put your name and your email and you text me hashtag Trademark That Thursdays to 205-490-8068. And if you can't remember the number, it's scrolling across the bottom. And if you can't remember what to do, that's scrolling across the bottom too. Your first name and your email, hashtag Trademark That Thursdays gets you that 15-minute free call. I really, really have appreciated you guys. If you have questions, now is your time to ask. I do have only 3 minutes. I did go a little bit over time, but I mean, I was just passionate because Emma, you was great. You were very interactive. And you know, Emma, just for being so interactive, go ahead and send me your email, girl, so I can send you a copy of Dear Future Lawyer, which is my best Amazon bestseller book. And I'll send you a copy of the book. So just send me your email, 205-490-8068. I like engagement. So when you get engaged, you know, get engaged with the content. I feel like you should be rewarded. I feel like you shouldn't just be sitting here and not rewarded for all the things that you do. So I'm gonna go check my other things. But Emma, girl, you've been killing this game. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but you have really set the tone. I love this engagement. So way to go, Emma. Shout out to Emma. Yes, Emma, really free. It's really free. I know. Crazy. Who does that? This girl. I built that in the program. If you really like this talk, let me know below, like, subscribe so that you can hear all of the stuff. And you guys, if you tune in for this, there are 12 other ladies coming after me for the rest of today and tomorrow that are going to give just the stellar talks. Okay. So if you tune in for this and you loved it, I hope you tune in for the next talk. And this is my final thing with you guys. You know, I love to give you guys some motivation. So this is my motivation for you as I sign out in my last minute, right? Because I got to give y'all this motivational message. So, straight from the dome. This industry is meant for you, and it's time for you to stop sitting on that business idea. Why am I telling you this? Because I know somebody told you a long time ago that it was impossible to carry out your dream. And I am here to tell you it is possible, and you will make millions one day. Okay. And I don't know when, but you're going to make it. And it's important for you to go ahead and believe in yourself, invest in yourself. And if you've never been taught how to invest in yourself, let's start. Okay, let's start together. And we can start with something as simple as a copyright assignment template so that you can get the logo ownership rights back, or the photos that you got taken by your photographer, so you can get those rights back, so you can start making content with your pictures, making websites with your pictures on it, making sure that you're protected all ways, shapes, and forms. Awesome. I see your email. Thank you, Emma. I will definitely get you the book after this call, and you are so very welcome. But my motivational message is simple. Love people. Help people, but remember to love them in this business. This business, you can't be any level of successful if you don't love people. And I mean really love them. Not kind of love, not I'm going to put up with you because I feel like it kind of. I mean really love them. Because those people, there are people out here that are believing in you left and right, but they cannot invest in your business, or they won't, right? Invest in your business until you show them that you love them. And I can only tell you that from personal experience, because all I used to do, right, is post, hey, I'm a lawyer, book a consult. Hey, I'm a lawyer, book a consult. You know what changed? In May 2020, I started Trademark That Thursdays, and I made my first post. I spent 4 hours with my mom going over every single slide to make sure that it was very simple and easy for people to understand, and that if she could understand it, I knew somebody else could. And when I made that first post, my phone not stop ringing, mind you. When I made that first post, I had a call. Someone called me straight off of that one post on Instagram and talked to me for an hour and plugged me into all of their entrepreneurial networks for a 500, 600 women, people that are interested in entrepreneurship and growing their business. And why am I telling you that? It's because I decided to invest in one thing that was important to me, which was helping my customers understand exactly what it is they're getting into before they get into it. Because I don't do scare tactics. I'm not going to scare you into getting a trademark with me. I'm not going to beg you into getting a trademark with me. I am always going to make sure that you feel secure when you make that trademark decision. I want you to know the law, the knowledge. I want you to have the lingo. I want you to be able to tell people when they're giving you the wrong information. Okay. That's how encouraged I want you guys to be when you talk to me. And when you walk away, I want you to walk away inspired. I want you to believe that that $1 million business is really in sight. Okay. And that what you're about to come up with is going to break the entire game, break the internet, break the world, and you're going to have them on their knees, excited about your business. And you're going to be like this girl I found on Instagram the other day who sold, I think, was it $60,000 worth of pickles at her house? She didn't even have a website. She just used Instagram. She sold $60,000 worth of pickles. Okay. So I'm just saying, if somebody can sell pickles, $60,000, and all they did was put a pickle in a bag with some juice, because those are popular. Now I want one. But I'm saying, like, it could be you. It could be you. You have to stop listening to everybody else you got around you not believing. Okay? There are a lot of people who do not believe in me. And that is okay. Because those same people make me gut check myself, right? Because sometimes you're doing shit wrong. You're doing stuff the wrong way. And those people keep you humble. They remind you that you need to make sure you're doing the right things for the right reasons. All right. And if you know that about yourself and you are constantly gut checking and holding yourself accountable, you're doing great. But if you feel the need to talk about your clients, badmouth them, tell other people how tired you are of them, as my Starbucks preacher would say, because I met a I meet everybody at Starbucks. He would say, give them another chance. Okay, give people another chance. I ain't telling you guys to take back toxic, dysfunctional clients. Okay, I'm telling you to stop bad mouthing them with your friends because you want to be relevant in the conversation. Okay, talk to your mama about it, but don't talk to nobody else on the internet about people that come and or want your work or want to work with you or have the audacity to ask you for a discount. Because at the end of the day, people talk. And you can't be a good person if you're not a good person. Okay? What I mean by that is you gotta be good. You got to be nice to people, and just for the sake of being nice, not because you're trying to get them to buy anything. You gotta be kind. You gotta love on them, and you gotta make people feel loved. Do you remember how it feels when you go to the Christmas and there's gifts there for you? Make your clients feel loved. Make them feel loved throughout the process. If you ever want tips, one thing that I can tell you that I love to do for my clients, they get cookies. That's just, I'm not going to go surprise. They get cookies. Like when they hit milestones, I send them a cookie, like an actual cookie, like real cookie, and they love it. They send me text messages letting me know that they got their cookie. I got that from another person that really poured into her clients, and I just loved that skill or that technique for my clients, and they love it. So make them feel loved. Do to your clients what you wish somebody would do for you in your business, and you will soar and excel. And when I say my phone has not stopped ringing, I think, guys, I get more calls about trademarks than I've gotten in the past 2.5 years when I offered them. Okay. And the only thing that I changed was my attitude. Attitude is now towards gratitude. I'm grateful for everybody, every single call, even if it does not turn into a client relationship, because the fact that you were inspired enough to call means that I did what I was supposed to do, which was educate you on something that is very difficult, and I made it super easy enough for you to call me. So maybe you'll be the next person that just loves me and wants me to come. If you ever like any of these talks, or you want a talk like this, message me. We'll talk about it. Okay. So, bye, guys. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this wonderful conference. And remember, this is, what is it? What is it? Does anybody know what it's called? It's the Black Women Mean Business Inaugural Virtual Summit. So, thank you guys so much for attending. Your next speaker is going to be Miss April. So, make sure you guys tune in a little bit. It's not too far off. So, make sure you guys tune in again for April.